Over the past 1 year, I've had conversations with different people from different walks of life, with different careers, different beliefs, and different journeys. And some of these people are creatives, others were businessmen, others were men of God, others were leaders, others were family men. And at first, the conversations I was having with these people, they felt like different conversations, different topics, different lining of things that I was trying to get to them. But the more I sat down to listen to these conversations, the more I realized that it was the same patterns, it was the same topics, that they were giving the same patterns of conversation in line to what these people were giving me. It was not just about money, it was not just about success, and neither it was not about inner things, but it was about people working on their inner being for them to become the people they wanna become. One of the strongest patterns I realized when I was re-listening to this conversation is nothing really works on the outside if something is broken in the inside. Before the career, before the relationship, before the ambitions, there is the inner life that needs to exist before the outer life manifests.
Yes, it is very possible. It all requires two things. One, yourself. Two, the person taking care of you. Yourself, one, you need to accept that it happened. Childhood trauma can be abusive parents, uh, maybe lack of parental care, and so many other reasons that can affect you while you grow as a kid. Number one, you as a person, you need to accept that it happened. You have no control over it. And then now start learning on how you can cope up with your issues. You see, depression is as a result of too much fear, too much worry, and too much disappointment. And this depression is really affecting the young generation. And I can tell you why, because I can see what happens. I personally, I was close to fall into depression. Youths are very much disappointed and frustrated. There is no jobs for them. You find that, for example, as we speak today, we have over 6 million young people qualified to be employed.
But they have
there
no
is
jobs.
no jobs.
Yeah.
There is no any efforts by the government to mitigate and probably give an enabling environment for investors so that jobs can be created.
Yeah.
There is no income generation. Youths are overaging. For example, you'll find a young person wishing that they could have a family. But they won't. Why? Because they cannot be able to sustain these families. For them, they are even suffering themselves alone. So how can they have another person as a family? So the major cause of this depression in this country to the young people is due to lack of employment, living in hopelessness. They are in the survival mode. They can do anything for survival. And when someone is on the survival mode, he or she is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because they can even do things that are not, we cannot speak about.
Yeah.
But depression is basically too much stress, too much anxiety. You are unable to mitigate your mind, your thoughts, and most likely you are looking at things from the negative side. Like you feel you don't belong to a given place, you feel you don't matter, you feel there is no need to continue fighting, you feel like there is nothing good can come out of you, you feel like there is nothing good can come out of a society.
And many people are trying to build out in life while trying to do things, but we have not resolved the pain that we have. We have like this unresolved pain within us that we have not yet been able to address, and it keeps draining us back. And healing quietly determines how far we can go in life. If it's something that I really picked from some of the conversation, is sometimes you need just to heal the inner you for you to go far in life, because the inner you can hold you back in achieving the things that you want to achieve in life.
To be honest, it's got to be an inside-out thing. It's for you to have the strength to overcome external forces, like what people are saying to you, saying about you. You've got to have inner strength. Yeah. And that inner strength, again, can only be drawn from what you're feeding on. Our bodies, we strengthen them or weaken them by what we feed them with physical food. Yeah. But we are not just physical. We are also, we have a spirit, soul, and body. So the soul, which constitutes of the mind, the will, and the emotions, and also very neatly intertwined with our spirit, is fed by what we are listening to, what we are watching, things that we are feeding into our minds that also affect our emotions, that also affect what we want to do and not want to do. Yeah. And then now, what you're feeding yourself on then will be what will determine how strong you are on your inside to be able to be resilient or be firm on your stand despite what the force from outside may be saying to you, the contrary maybe to what would be right. Yeah. So I would say you have to have plugged in to a good source of inner nutrients.
Once the inner work begins, how we show up begins to change. Literally, the moment your inner heals, how you show up changes differently, because you will not show up with fear, you will not show up with discontentment, you won't show up with doubt. You'll start showing up with courage, with strength, and with a lot of love.
I think for me, the most important lesson, I don't say lesson, that I learned in modeling and fashion was confidence. It brought out the confidence in me. I was very shy. I used to be shy, so it brought out the confidence in me. It taught me how to do public speaking, and it helped me learn how to relate and build relationship with people. So yeah, that's confidence and relationship building was, I think, the main factor that I learned in my modeling journey. And on the fashion trends, for me, I feel like each individual has their own taste and desires. Personally, I wear to what maybe that day I'm feeling, my moods of that day, where I'm going, what are my plans for the day. You can't expect me to go, maybe if I'm going for an interview, to wear casually. I can't go to a casual place wearing something called a want going for a corporate event. Same as there's various events, there's cocktail dinners, there is high fashion events, there are interviews. So depending on where you're going, I think it's important for people to learn how to dress, especially depending on where they are going. And for example, to an institution, there are institutes that are so keen on your dress code. So it's important to learn also where you are going. When you learn where you're going, it can also bounce back to what you want to wear to where you're going. And it's important for someone to identify their niche. Like, what are you comfortable in? What are your colors? Different skin tones appreciate other colors more than maybe another color would. So you learn the colors that go with your body. You learn jewelry that go with your body. So it's important to actually learn your own style first so that you can mirror on the trends that are actually going.
You see, presentation is not just about impression or impressing others. It's about self-respect. To me, I realized one thing in one of the conversations I had with a lady called Lynette Kibali. A CV is not just a document, okay? In life, a CV is not just a document. It is a story. It tells of the journey you have gone through in life since you are born to you getting the job and why you should be given that job. And this conversation opened my eyes to another perspective of the world.
There is no standard format for a CV. And I also want to mention that in the field, we have what we call a resume and a CV. So usually a CV is more detailed. You'll find your CV can be about 3 to even 5 pages. You put every single detail. But a resume is usually a summary of that CV. And your resume usually have what you call an executive summary. So
Hapo umechanganya kidogo. Executives.
yeah, so I'm explaining that. The format you're just saying that you had in primary.
Yeah.
Every working day, as days go by, as we go through the years, there's improvement of everything. We can attest to that.
Yeah.
So even the format and the methods of writing our CVs have improved with time. So things like name, Lynette, age, 40, religion, Muslim, Christian, blah, 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 marital status, single, they're no longer necessary. Because when you are applying for a job, depending on the job you're applying for, you will put or you will insert those information. But on a general CV, you don't need all that. Your date of birth, your name, you may say your age in passing. But most of these details you give to your employer when you're on the table, or if they require. Like you can apply for an NGO and they say we need females between 20 to 35.
Yeah.
And they have to be Christians. So in that case, you'll say, I'm Lynette, I'm 20 years old, and I am a Christian. You mention that. The reason we stopped putting those details on the CVs is because of biasness. You may be applying in a Muslim environment, and then the moment they see
you're a Christian,
the person who is working on the CVs may just put your paper aside because of biasness, I don't want Christians to fill our organization. Or if you're a Muslim and you're applying to a Christian organization and there's that bias, this guy is a Muslim, we don't want him.
We don't want Muslims.
Again, most employers don't like, it depends with the industry. They don't like married women or married people because they tend to think they have a lot of responsibilities. So the moment you see Lynette, 40, Christian, married, they'll be like, this lady will not give us much of the time, Maybe atakuwa anachomoka to go and attend to the baby, or there'll be responsibilities, or she will get pregnant, and then,
there is that leave that comes.
And then there's the leave. There's an organization I worked for, I'm not going to mention it, but that director detested married women. She never liked married women in the organization.
Wasn't she married?
She was separated at the time I was working there. And just getting to know that you're married, there's a lady who got married while she came there, and then she got pregnant. Oh my God, it was so crazy for her. So when you are applying for jobs, some of those details are not necessary unless you are asked for them. So when you're writing your CV, you have to include what is necessary. You customize your CV to the job application you are looking for. If they're looking for a driver, you don't need to say a lot of unnecessary things that don't go in line with the driver. Just put them aside. You'll keep bringing them in as time goes by. As time goes by, you'll be bringing them in. Unless they ask for it, or unless it's a job like an NGO, where drivers are normally needed, then you add that. And you talked about, you were being told that it's not just our academics that are looked for on the CV. It is very true. Normally when you're writing your CV, I talked about an executive summary. An executive summary is a brief description of who you are. After your name and your introduction, we are going to share a sample CV so that you'll get to see it. So after your name and your introduction and your profession, like I would say Lynette Ochieng, IT admin, that's my profession, just an example. And then I put my email address there and then my contacts. And then the next thing I'll put is an executive summary. It's a paragraph. I'll say, I am Lynette Ochieng. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science and information technology. I've had a work experience of 7 years plus. I've worked in organization A, organization B, and organization C. Besides ICT, I've worked with organizations. I've worked with NGO A, NGO B, NGO C. In these organizations, you were doing item A, item B, and item C. Some of my achievements were this. I'll be glad and privileged, and it will be an honor to work in your organization. Looking forward to working with you. That's your executive summary.
So the executive summary highlights the most important part of your CV.
So any busy HR who goes through executive summary does not have to go to high school. You got a B+. Primary, you got 428. And then your work experiences.
Opportunity often exists in different ways, but not always in the obvious forms. One of the conversations we had, we were talking about agriculture and how people can tap into the agricultural space. We have for long held to the idea that agriculture is all about digging and planting. But here we realize one thing: you can not be a farmer, but you can still benefit from the agricultural space.
One, to address that issue of attitude shift, because in reality, actually, agriculture is cool and very rewarding. Even doing the work, getting your hands dirty, is something that can be a very cool experience. Only if you change the attitude and you look at the benefits that come out of it. But apart from that, number two is introducing smart technologies into agriculture. Nowadays, we are talking of smart agriculture, climate smart technologies, smart farmers. We also need to look at other opportunities other than just production. There are those youth who will be in the actual production. There are those who will be in other spaces, and let me already start on that now. There is the whole opportunities in value addition. You can make products from livestock or from crops or from fish, like making yogurt out of milk. You don't have to be the one producing that milk. Those are cool opportunities for youth. It's still within the agriculture space. You can go into marketing. You can go into transportation as a young person. You can go into preservation, offering post-harvest solutions, branding, packaging. You can go into digital marketing for people and a commission out of it. Those are many and very wide opportunities that are still within agriculture. Because we still have a lot of food that is going into waste. Farmers producing, and they have no one to connect them with the producers, with the market. Yet young people are there. That's an opportunity for Gen Z and all other youth to really take advantage of, connect the producer and the buyer, the market. You can do door-to-door deliveries as a young person. You can even have your own apps, either as a group or as a young person initiate, and it can become as big as Amazon. Just dealing with agriculture, food system solutions to farmers. You can connect the suppliers of inputs. The agro dealers want to sell the products to the farmers who need. That's still an opportunity in agriculture. That's why I say the sky is the limit. All these opportunities are there, and we need to now just flip it a bit and open the eyes of our young people to see all these possibilities. And over time now we have realized some of the richest people in the world, and even right here in Kenya, are actually farmers. They do farming. That's where money is.
Growth is often limited by narrow thinking. And the moment I listened to that conversation, I realized how narrow thinking we were, that for me to make it in agriculture, I need to have a piece of land. And that was the biggest lie that we ever told ourselves. Sometimes growth is often limited by narrow thinking. As people grow, how we relate to others matters very deeply. And this comes to you relating not only to people who are greater than you, it comes to you relating to people who are even at your level, people are lower than you and people are above you. You see, the reason as to why our fingers are not the same, it depicts in life that you are not equal in life. And sometimes learning to relate with people at different spaces in life can help you really go far.
It starts by you being strategic. You can't have a relationship with someone whom you haven't related with. You must be strategic first of all. Once you guys have gotten into a deeper conversation, mmeanza kuongea, you are now connecting well, then now you can bring the relation part of it. But it starts by you being strategic.
Now, you find that there are these great men, like there are these people who have that network.
Yeah.
Then they themselves pick a young person and they decide
Yeah.
to walk the journey with the young person. What usually attracts these people to such a young person? Instead of the young person going to look for the person is now looking for the young person.
Funny thing, these great people, they also look for connections. That's the funny thing. They also look for connection. They also network. Connection and networking doesn't end when you become great.
Yeah.
These great people look for connections in the younger people.
Yeah.
Ask me how. For future benefits. It's more of investment. I look for you. I've seen something in Derek Mavali. Derek Mavali is a great journalist. I see him and I see like he has a great future. His future is bright. I'll look for Derek. I'll connect with Derek. More of investing in Derek for my future benefit hapo mbele. Because I know that at some point hapo mbele I'll not be there. My kids will be there. My families will be there. They need someone to interact with. Or I'll need a business to continue running in the future. So first thing is networking opportunities. These great people also look for networking opportunities. Next thing is the enthusiasm and the energy of young people. While you are fresh from campus, obviously you are energized. You are ready to work. These great people, most of them, they look for people to work for them. They want people who are they look at you and they see this kid umsi anaweza nifanyia kazi vizuri. They go for that. The other thing is technological savvy. The world continues to evolve. And education that was there 20, 30 years ago, it's not the same education right now. Technology that was there 20, 30, 40 years ago is not the same technology right now.
Yeah.
So most of these great people, some of them are in the technological field, some are not, but the young guys who have this technical know-how, they'll definitely look for them. So those are some of the things that make these people look for younger people. The other thing is self-gratification. I'm great. I just like helping young people.
Yeah.
I just like being a mentor,
Supporting them,
supporting my young people.
teaching them what
Yes,
I've learned.
it makes me feel complete.
Yeah.
So some of these people look for these young people to mentor and help because it's self-satisfaction to them. Yeah.
Ambition without dignity eventually collapses.
Well, if there's something I always say, it's good that you brought up the topic. Humility and dignity goes a long way. While you are at the table with great people, let me tell you a funny thing. I've been in a table with great minds, where it's here is the HR Safaricom, sijui kuna CEO Pulse Live, then there's another lady this side. Then wewe ujui utafanya nini. You don't know ujui uanze wapi. Unaona?
Yeah.
But you don't be too humble or too dignified.
Yeah.
And hadi watu wakusahau that you are in the table. Because you can be too humble and too dignified. Hadi wasahau that
Kuna mtu
kulikuwa na mseka alikuwa hapo. Unaona? So you need to speak, but in a more dignified way where it's respectful. You listen, but then you respond also. But not that you umeenda hapo, you are too holy, you are too humble, nini. People will forget you. And that's one of the things I learned from my current boss, Linambia. If you go to the table with people, be humble, tulia, but don't be too humble until we assume your humbleness for weakness.
And the biggest lesson I picked from that conversation is my dignity really matters. You need to check how you relate to people without being judgmental. Private decisions shape public futures.
Now, that's a deception of the devil. I am a man, and I know men are the most selfish creatures, and sometimes very cunning when it comes to sexual matters. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm saying they are selfish in this sense. You will hear every man saying he's looking for a wife material. Okay?
Yeah.
They are looking for a wife material. If you allow yourself as a young lady, for example, okay,
Yeah.
to start living with a man before marriage, I guarantee you they will not marry you because you are not a wife material. The thinking in the head of a man is, if she can give it to me before marriage, what will stop her from giving to someone else if things are not working here? So count yourself already out. You will be left with your child. So the idea of come we stay before marriage is a devilish idea and a trap that has destroyed so many young people in the process.
Whatever we decide when sitting alone in a room may sound like it doesn't matter, but remember, whatever you tell your subconscious mind or your conscious mind of what you are, of what you want to do, of what you want to become, literally later comes and plays out in life with how you'll show in life. So those are some of the lessons I picked from the conversations I've listened to. I've done different episodes, maybe not in this channel, because before I came to begin my own journey, I was doing work for other people in other channels, and the conversations I held in those channels really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Ladies and gentlemen, those are just reflections from Movali Derek. See you in the next episode.